With free agency quickly approaching for the Arizona Cardinals and the rest of the NFL, we got a big question to ask. Are there some people that we would love to re-sign and retain as an Arizona Cardinal, or are we going to let a lot of these people walk? We also got an update for the Arizona Cardinals cap space number. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe. Subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We are on the road to 14K, and not just that, but we got so much news coming our way for Arizona Cardinals because of free agency. We got the combine this week, and then obviously the draft towards the end part of April, but a lot of content coming your way. You want to be updated on everything Arizona Cardinals news? Definitely go ahead and subscribe. All right, everybody, let's go and dive right into it. Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals, shall we? Now, we got a pretty big topic to talk about today. Obviously, who should the Arizona Cardinals retain? Who should the Arizona Cardinals let walk? Now, one thing I want to talk about here real quick before we dive into that is the fact that the Arizona Cardinals cap space number has completely changed again. And before we were talking about the Cardinals having anywhere upwards about $55 to $57 million, and that is per Over the Cap and Spot Track, which is two very, very reliable sources that do all the math for us. And then now there's another update, and now right now the Arizona Cardinals have $51 million, which is still a good amount, right? I think we're still within the top 10 of the most amount of cap space heading into 2024, so nothing to be too freaked out about, but the number has now changed to $51 million, and most likely because they needed to go ahead and calculate some things here and there. I don't know, but now it's $51 million. Now let's dive into who the Arizona Cardinals should bring back, or who can they potentially bring back as an Arizona Cardinal in 2024. Now, if you take a look at this list, there's a lot of names that we could probably do away with. Now, I've said this before in multiple videos that I really do think there's going to be a very, very high turnover rate from the roster of 2023 to 2024. And one of the biggest reasons why is that, look at all these free agents that we have here. A lot of names that, you know, kind of made some little splashes here and there, but a lot of names are more seen as depth more than anything. Now, if you do notice here, Budda Baker is listed at the top. He's not listed as a free agent per se, but this is his last year under contract and he's got no guaranteed money. Now, does that freak me out? Yes, it does, because we've heard before that Budda Baker wants to make sure that he is taken care of, and being the fact that he's got no guaranteed money this year, and if he gets hurt, there might be a problem, then I don't know, right? We'll have to kind of deal with the whole Budda Baker situation hopefully soon, but as of right now, he's not technically a free agent, but he definitely has no guaranteed money. I think he's on a club option right now. So let's focus on the other people right below them. Obviously, you got Marquise Hollywood Brown, you got Josh Woods, you got Greg Dortch out there, you got Kryze Barnes, LJ Collier, you got a lot of names out there that we kind of obviously familiarized ourselves with in 2023 because we had a lot of people out there that really didn't kind of, I don't know, do very much for the Cardinals in the grand scheme of things. So let's talk about who the Arizona Cardinals could potentially, or who I would love the Cardinals to potentially bring back. Now, this is a guy here that has stepped in the role that we absolutely needed him to step in, and that's going to be Josh Woods. I think Josh Woods actually had a pretty good season for the Arizona Cardinals when he got the opportunity. Now, obviously, the way he got his opportunity was not ideal. It had to kind of wait for our depth to really go down, and obviously Kaiser White is going to be our main middle linebacker in the middle there, but I would love to bring Josh Woods back. I think that would kind of be a friendly deal for the Arizona Cardinals and really wouldn't be anything very expensive. We're talking probably about like $1.5 million, maybe $2 million, just kind of really depending on the market going up. But this is a guy that really plays hard. And we've heard this before where Jonathan Gannon really likes the players that we have on the roster, especially the ones that continue to play hard throughout the remaining of the season when they had really kind of nothing to fight for. But obviously they do got to fight for the jobs at the end of the day. But that's kind of something that really kind of goes to show that I really do like what Josh Woods has done for the Cardinals. Now, obviously, another no-brainer is probably going to be Aaron Brewer. We're going to need a long snapper, so maybe bringing him back would be ideal. If the Cardinals have another plan for a long snapper, then cool. I mean, I don't think Aaron Brewer is going to be one of those guys where I'm like, oh, it's going to move the needle for the Arizona Cardinals, right? But like, we're going to need one, so we might as well bring somebody who's familiar with the Cardinals. If they don't go that route, no worries. I get it. He is about 33 years old right now, so we'll have to kind of wait and see there, but I wouldn't mind bringing him back as well. But like I said, he wouldn't be expensive as well. But another guy that I would actually love the Cardinals to bring back is Greg Dortch. Man, Greg Dortch has been a fan favorite. Now, he's 25 years old right now. Very, very very in his prime now. I really feel bad for Greg Dortch. I truly do, because this is a journeyman that's obviously undersized in the wide receiving position, but like, he plays hard. This man is an absolute dog. Well, whenever he's out there and he gets his opportunities, he's an absolute dog. And I've said this before. I said this last year, and it's unfortunate that nobody listened, because I truly do believe Greg Dortch is greater than Rondale Moore. And Rondale Moore has the name because he's a second round pick, but when we're seeing him on the field, the guy who's really giving us his all is Greg Dortch. This man is an absolute baller. Like, he will make anybody miss. And, you know, it goes to show that as long as you have the heart and, you know, some willing to do it, you can really perform in an NFL level. And I really do like what I've seen from Greg Dortch. So I would love to bring him back. And that's another guy too, that he's not going to be very expensive as well. So right now, I believe he was getting paid like $1 million. If they want to sign him for a 2-year deal, it's probably going to be something along those lines as well. So I would love to bring him back and maybe keep him as a number 4, or heck, you know, if I want to be frisky, go ahead and move him to the number 3 slot position, which I would love, is an ideal spot for Greg Dortch. But I get it. Rondale Moore is a second round pick, and he's most likely going to be that guy in the middle. But we'll have to kind of wait and see, TBD. So Greg Dortch is definitely a must for me. And then let's talk about, I guess, the elephant in the room, right? Marquise Hollywood-Brown. Now, I remember very specifically a month ago, I was saying up and down that Marquise Hollywood-Brown is one of those guys that I think I was kind of done with in the desert. And I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm having a little bit of a change of heart, and here's the reason why. Heading into this year's free agency class, right, a month ago, we were looking about 3 potential wide receivers that were going to hit the market, right? We're talking about Michael Pittman, we're talking about Mike Evans, and then we're talking about T. Higgins as well. Now, T. Higgins just got franchise tag not too long ago. There's a report came out that said Mike Evans most likely will come out with a long-term deal with the Bucs, and he wants to stay with the Bucs. And then we got Michael Pittman Jr., which obviously has had some injuries in his young tenure with the Colts, but that wide receiving core is really starting to get very, very thin, right? Now, obviously, you're left with Michael Pittman Jr., and if I was the Colts, I would probably retain him. Like, I'm going to be honest here. I wouldn't be shocked if they retain him, and I think they would be smart to retain him. But we're left with him, we're left with Calvin Ridley, and then we're left with Hollywood-Brown as the top 3 wide receivers. Now, like I said before, I'm not looking for a number 1 wide receiver. I'm truly looking for a number 2 wide receiver in this free agency class. So I'm having a little bit of a change of heart because of the idea of it's all starting to kind of get really thin. It's starting to get real thin for the Arizona Cardinals. And we've heard this before, right? Monty Austinfort has a plan, but it's really hard to have a plan, like a specific plan, when you don't know who's going to hit the open market, right? Now, a couple people that let's talk about here that we had our eye on as Cardinals fans, right? Jalen Johnson, a Chicago Bear. There was a report that came out there said that the Chicago Bears want to retain him, right? They're going to do everything they possibly can to retain him. An interior defensive tackle that we like out of the Ravens, Justin Matabuke, there's a report saying that he most likely will be franchise tagged if there's not a long-term deal being made with Justin Matabuke. So it's a little concerning that this coveted free agency class is starting to kind of get thinned out for the Cardinals, and maybe Marquise Hollywood-Brown might be a ideal pickup for, or at least a retain for the Arizona Cardinals. I won't be mad as I would have been a month ago, just because of it's kind of slim pickings right now with the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm not bringing him back because I absolutely love Marquise Hollywood-Brown. What I would actually love the Arizona Cardinals to do is actually get I wouldn't say a hometown discount, but like a 1-year prove-it deal would be the most realistic, ideal thing for me. Maybe something like a franchise tag would be kind of something. That's the thing. Like, even franchise tags is pretty darn expensive as well. You're talking about like $20+ million for 1 year, but we're talking about 1 year at the end of the day, right? So if we want to make sure that Kyler Murray has weapons, and we don't know exactly what the plan is, because we don't know who's going to fall to number 4, right? That's another big thing, right? Another big question mark. Who's going to fall to number 4 to the Arizona Cardinals? We don't know. So Marquise Hollywood-Brown, I'm so teeter-totting about, like, should we keep him, should we not keep him? And only because it's so slim pickings in free agency these days. Unless the Cardinals go Calvin Ridley, which I don't see happening, but if they do, I wouldn't be mad at it. But it's kind of that, man. Marquise Hollywood-Brown right now is 26 years old. I believe he's going to be 27 by the time this new year starts up, and he's going to get paid, and that's the thing. He's going to get paid from another team. It kind of reminds me of the whole Christian Kirk situation where a lot of people were like, no, don't bring him back, don't bring him back, and then he collects the bag somewhere else, right? Probably won't be with the Cardinals. But everybody else here on this list, we're talking about Licky Fotu, we're talking about Marlon Mack, we're talking about Elijah Wilkins, LJ Collier. Honestly, I can do with a lot of these, I do without a lot of these guys, to be honest with you. I still truly believe that the Cardinals are going to have a very, very high turnover rate this next year in 2024. We've seen some things from Rashad Fenton, but like nothing to the point where it's going to move the needle. I guess one other guy that is a notable guy out there that I would kind of be happy to bring back is Jonathan Ledbetter. I think Jonathan Ledbetter had a really, really good thing going with the Arizona Cardinals. It's just injuries, man, injuries, not being able to stay on the field as much as we would love him to stay on the field. But if we're talking about a sub $1 million contract, this is definitely something where the Arizona Cardinals can potentially throw a contract his way and he might be able to sign it, because it's not like he had crazy amount of numbers, right? I think he had 2 sacks or 3 sacks this last year, and it was productive. It's just he wasn't able to stay on the field at the end of the day. But having a interior defensive lineman really helps out the Arizona Cardinals. So let me know here if there's anybody else on this list that you would actually take a swing at and would love the Cardinals to retain. Let me know here in the chat below. I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cards.